Hello everybody, this is Reviews and More, back with another tech review. This is the action camera from a brand called izeeker. This is the IA800. It is basically a action camera that is similar to a GoPro. So without further ado, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, as it really helps out the channel, and then we can go from there. Alright, real fast, I'll give the basic stats of it. It can film up to 6K at 30 frames per second, or what you'll see in this video when you see the demonstration in my pool underwater will be at 1080p at 60 frames per second. It has a 40 meter waterproof case that comes with, that's being tested at the end. A dual screen display that is touchscreen, which is awesome. It's got the little remote right there, you can see it. It also has the ability to control with built-in Wi-Fi. So that's the main stuff you got there. It has a bunch of different little modes. You'll kind of see me scroll through them. It has video time lapse, image time lapse. I think it's got slow-mo on there as well. It's got all the bells and whistles are there. It comes with 2 batteries as well as a cable. I believe one is for obviously charging the battery pack that you'll see that come with it. It also has a cable that is designed to hook directly into the camera itself for file transfer. That's the Type-C that you're going to see later on. So all the various attachments, you're going to see me use the universal attachment to hook this up to my pool robot that cleans the pool, just so you can see it working underwater, and the lighting and everything else. It also has various video modes depending on what your use is. It's got a vignette mode, it's got an action mode, it's got everything most modern digital cameras have, just smushed down into the little action camera size package. And as we unpack this thing, it's really kind of a basic, not basic, but it has all the bells and whistles that any camera kit like this comes with, any trail camera, or not trail camera, excuse me, action camera comes with. It comes with all the little Velcro pieces. It does not come with like a vest or anything or a chest mount. As soon as you have that already, you see here a little protective case. Inside that protective case, you will find the battery pack, and that's where you're going to want to charge your batteries. I tested this without first charging the battery, so it was the factory charge, which I think was only about half full, and it went for over 45 minutes. So on a full charge, it probably would get close to an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. Comes with 2 batteries, which is very, very nice. So you can probably get close to, if I had to guess, close to 4 hours of filming if you carry both charged battery packs with you. So you're going to do pretty well on pretty much any outing kind of situation you're running with. You can also, I believe, go to izeeker's Amazon page and buy separate batteries. So I should probably mention the price of this item is $140. So for $140 you get all these little bells and whistles. Real fast, we're going to open this thing up. It just uses a button and slide situation right here. Pops it right open. Inside you will find where you put your memory card as well as where the battery goes. The slot for the memory card is very, very thin and very hard to see unless you know where you're looking for it. So the battery goes right in there, and underneath where the battery is, that's the slot for the memory card. You'll see that in just a moment. And here's all the various little plug-in areas for the Type-C and for the charger. You can charge this thing or power this from a plug. So if you're doing like time-lapse video over an extended period of time, that's where you would use that. So I've done that before with other little action cameras, but that's where you would want to use your time-lapse, get it plugged in. That way you can hook it up to a tripod or something and run it for days and days in theory if that's what you want to do. And jumping back in, we're going to go ahead and look at right where the, it's going to be hard to see because it doesn't want to focus on that little dark area, but right underneath where that battery goes in, that's where your little micro SD card is going to go in. That little white spot right there, that's the slot for it. So you're going to put it in there face up. I'm of course going to do it off camera because I'm highly bad at my job, but it just slides right in there. You'll see the result. There it goes. Slide it right in that little slot. It goes right in unless you have big dumb thumbs like I do, and there you go. There is no click. It is not spring loaded. So once it's in there, it just sits in there basically with friction. So don't expect it like to pop out or anything like that. If you push down on it, it's like some other cameras do. It is not designed to do that. So it just slides right in and it's held in with friction. Once you get that done, it's ready to record. You have all the top button powers it. It also starts the recording process on your initial setup. It's going to run you through a tutorial, tell you how to use the swiping, everything else. It is preset to 4K at 60 frames per second. I adjusted mine to 1080p at 60 frames per second for the video, mainly because that's also how I upload on YouTube. So there's not much point in doing an upscaled video that's not going to actually be upscaled when it's uploaded later on. But here we're just going to roll through, get through the tutorial, which is kind of annoying. But once you get it set up, it's good to go. You can modify all this stuff while you're in there through the touch screen. The side buttons are going to be your up and down scrollers if you want to do it that way. They also let you zoom in with a digital zoom. I will say the digital zoom is not amazing, but most digital zooms are not amazing unless they got some crazy AI in there like Samsung phones tend to do. But there you go. It'll basically zoom in on the image. So the higher quality you're filming at, the better the zoom's going to end up being. And the better your lighting is, obviously, the better your final result's always going to be. So there's your resolution options, your segment auto, all that fun stuff. There, I'm moving mine down to 1080p as we speak. You can also raise it up to 6K at 30 frames per second. I didn't do that mainly because I was not going to be filming in a lighting situation that was going to be beneficial for that. So I went down to 1080 at 60p, so it's still high def. And then we're going to run it through just to make sure all the touchscreen and buttons work properly. It's just like a camera. You hit that top button, it starts recording, and then you're good to go from there. So based on this, it has about an hour and 36 minutes of recording time if on a nearly full charge. It might last that long, or it might not, depending on the situation you're in. But I got about 45 minutes out of it, and that was on the factory charge, which I don't think was really full. I think it was reading as full, and I don't think it actually was. Here are all the various options. You have the diving mode, which basically improves underwater. I didn't use diving mode for my test. I just want to see what it looked like. Quick stories, a video time lapse, slow motion, all that fun stuff is in there, and you can kind of run through it. I'm looking at it in underwater mode just because I wonder what the difference was. Basically, just changes the coloring around a little bit to make it more accurate if you were underwater, I think is what it's doing there. And there's also photo modes as well, and you can kind of run through it. It's all touch screen, so you just swipe through it so you don't have to sit there and memorize the motor skill of operating it with using buttons. And from there, it's basically good to go. All you got to do is just hit the button, and it will start recording for you, and you can go from there. All right, what you're going to see next is me testing it in my little pool outside. We stuck it on the cleaning robot. That's the only thing we think of that would run underwater, because I'm not getting under that water, because that water is currently about 50 degrees, and I'm not that stupid. So you're going to see it kind of go in there, and then we're going to jump over to probably some elevator music so you don't have to hear me talk, so you can kind of see the results and what happens. This is going to be sped up significantly once we get past the initial sinking of the Titanic here, and then we'll be good to go. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. I'll put a link in the description of all the various information, as well as the Amazon link for the product.